Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here for another one of our mass making sessions, and we are week number 132, would you believe? So anyone who follows along with my channel, you'll know that we are doing reruns of previous weeks. So we are week number 132, rerunning week 32. So what we're going to make this week is belly bands with kind of flip outs or flip ups or flip downs, depending on however you want to have your flips. That will kind of depend on, I suppose, what they would be called. So yeah, if you're wanting to join in and join along, then basically what I've brought along is just a bunch of different papers. Now, obviously, most of my papers tend to be digitals nowadays, so I've brought along a lot of digitals. I've also brought along some scrapbook paper, and I've also brought along some sheet music. So hopefully we can kind of play around with all of those. And the other thing that I've brought along is some masterboard bases, you know, some just plain masterboard pieces that I've got left from other projects. So definitely they would be awesome for this project as well. And then what you're going to need is some sort of, now when I say plain, it doesn't have to be plain, but some sort of paper to have as your flip out. Now it could be flimsyish paper. This is fly sheet from, you know, book page. I've got, you know, coffee dye paper and things like that. I've got some envelopes and things. So yeah, I mean, you could probably use a variety of different things. Or of course, what you could use is, depending on, you know, how well these things are going to coordinate, you could use like some double-sided paper, providing that the back was neutralish, because the, you know, the back or the inside of the flip out is going to be your journaling space effectively. So yeah, that's kind of some ideas of the papers that you're going to need. You may want to get some toppers or some pieces to use as toppers to decorate the fronts or, you know, the insides of the belly bands, or, you know, depending on how you're going to do them. So you might want some decorative kind of elements and things. You're going to want your glue, you're going to want your scissors or a cutting board if you prefer to use cutting boards and things. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I've probably forgotten something, but, you know, hopefully that's kind of basically most of the stuff that you're going to be needing. So let's just get straight in and get started on what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with just some, actually I'm going to start with just some of my collage masterboards, because I think these are going to be, you know, super straightforward and really, really ideal for this project. So these are a variety. I've got these ones that are taken from my collage masterboard scrapbook, which of course I've got, you know, some tutorials on. And then these are just from, you know, collage masterboards that I've done on top of just, you know, scraps of kind of A4 papers. So if I just take the first one, now all you're going to do is cut it down to make a belly band piece. So if I just cut this down like this, and then we'll have obviously two from this piece. Like that. Now, obviously, I don't like using a, you know, paper trimmer. So, you know, I'm just cutting mine freehand. Obviously, if you would prefer to use a paper trimmer and get a slightly better edge than me, then that probably is advisable. But, you know, you must do kind of how you like to do things. So that's going to be my two belly band pieces. And I'm only making two because obviously, you know, this lends itself to obviously being two. So that's all there is to that. Now, if I just pick some paper, now let's just have a look and see what I've brought along here, because I'm just wondering whether I've got anything that I could couple with this. So this is my pink prairie paper, which actually I thought was double-sided, but now I'm looking, don't think it is. That's annoying, because that's going to muck that up for using. Let me just see if I've got any more of that. I could have sworn that I bought some along that was double-sided. No, I must be wrong. Yeah, must be mistaken. Oh, that's so annoying. Right, so yeah, that's not double-sided. So for this, if I wanted to use this, I would probably either coffee dye or ink up the inside, just so as it wasn't white. But basically all you're going to do is then take this and have this as your, you know, your flip out piece. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate that. So if I just take the piece that I think would be quite nice. So let's just cut this down here. And then what I could do is probably get two from this one piece, depending on how big I want to have my flip. So for instance here, I could probably cut this across here like that. Okay, and that would be then my flip out attached to this collage masterboard piece. So what I'm going to do is just quickly ink up the inside, because, you know, like I say, it's obviously plain, which, you know, I don't necessarily want. So just checking which side I need to be inking. So, and I'm using my vintage photo. I finally bought a new one. So, yeah, bought that a few weeks ago. And I'm probably going to have a mixture of videos for months now, where some are saying, oh, it's a new ink pad, and some are like, oh, it's really old. So, yeah, depending on kind of how my uploads go. Right, there we go. So then obviously that is going to wrap around here. So all I want to do to get my wraparound piece is literally then just fold it onto my piece. Oh, that's the other thing that you may have liked. I knew I'd forget something. So you may like to have a bone folder. If you haven't got a bone folder, just use your scissor handles. That would be absolutely fine. And that then is my flip out, like that. So it just attaches then like that. Now I'm just going to trim this down because that is showing this up for being completely wonky. Oops, I think this side is quite wonky too. So let's just neaten this up a little bit. Okay, and then all you're going to do is glue your flip out piece onto there. And then what I would do is then kind of take the colours and things that I've used for my flip out piece and somehow kind of incorporate them onto my underneath piece, if that makes sense. So that my, you know, my belly band, i.e. this piece, has got some sort of matching coordinating bits to this piece, which is now, of course, on the top of it. So obviously I've got like the yellow and the reddy flowers. So I would kind of somehow try and incorporate those colours onto this piece in here. But how super pretty does that look? Still not cut that straight, so excuse my cutting today. How pretty does that look? And then of course you could then just paper clip that closed, or you could use string, or, you know, however you like. You could use those little kind of twisty doobry things, you know, like little mini tags. You know, all sorts of different options that you could use for actually having that closed. So, but really super simple. And of course you don't have to have your flip out, you know, on the side. You could have it, you know, a flip up if you prefer, or, you know, a flip down, kind of however, you know, however you would fancy doing it. So let me just see what else I've got here. So I've got this paper here, which again, how pretty does, oops, let me just move this slightly, because how pretty does this look? It just goes perfectly, doesn't it? So what I would do is take that there. This is where I find I've cut it wider than the belly band itself. Yep, I mean, I was joking, but yeah, I pretty much have. And then I'm just going to cut it down here. And I was going to have this as a flip down, but actually I'm now thinking I'd probably prefer this as a flip up. So just cut that end off. And actually I'm just going to cut this down slightly narrower, just because I quite like it when you have the flip outs to obviously have some of the underneath showing. So like that. Oh, it's still a bit wide. Let me just cut it down slightly more. Honestly, this is where I'm going to end up with like the skinniest flip out ever. So yeah, like that. And then all I'm going to do is again, fold that over the top where I'm going to actually glue that on. Oops. So that will be glued onto there, like that, okay? So again, obviously, this is another one that's not been coffee dyed or anything like that. So I'm just going to coffee dye it. It's got a little bit of black marks from my printer where my printer sucked it through. But again, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, so we just ink this up. do. Like that. And then again, all I'm going to be doing is gluing this down. So just squish this down like this. So, I mean, the collage masterboards work perfectly for this because they're a good thickness to have as your belly band. They don't need kind of like, what's the word, you know, robusting up. I know that's not a word, but, you know, they don't need anything to, to thicken them. They are perfect, you know, as they are. If you use something like sheet music or something, you're going to probably have to, you know, to glue that in to actually thicken it up. So there we go, like that. Okay, so that way you've just got your flip up. So again, obviously this being a belly band, you would be gluing it here and here onto your page, and then your flip up would be like that. Now I have to say I have mucked this up quite a bit because of course my bottom bit's not straight, and now my top bit, I've got barely anything showing on this side, but you know, I'm sure that kind of you get the idea of how it was supposed to look. And then of course, you know, you could then have string or something holding this closed, or, you know, like I say, you could have something at the bottom. Just try this sari silk. I mean, I'm not suggesting that this is going to be quite ideal, but it was just laying around on my desk. Actually, it does look quite pretty, doesn't it? So yeah, I mean, that actually, I'm going to just glue that on. It works really nicely. So I thought it was going to look a bit rubbish, but yeah, it actually looks really pretty on there. So again, just gluing that down on the back. And actually, I could probably make that a bit flatter. Actually, let's untwist it, and yeah, there we go, like that. Okay, so that would be then glued down onto my belly band piece to be keeping that closed. So, you know, different options and different ways to kind of finish them off. So let's take some sheet music now, so that I can just show you one that, you know, would need to be thickened up. So let me just bring one in, hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to tear this down. So obviously, depending on the thickness of your sheet music, I mean, I personally think that this is a bit too thin to have as, you know, as the belly band, if you see what I mean. So I would probably fold this into thirds, just approximately. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, 100%. But yeah, fold it over into thirds like that. Actually, I can probably, yeah. And then I would just glue that down everywhere. Now, actually, spot the deliberate mistake. No, it wasn't deliberate, obviously. I just forgot. This is actually going to be too tall for my A4. So, yeah, I'm going to have to cut this down in the height. But that's fine. I'll do that in a moment. So, again, just going to go around here. I'm not going too close to that edge because, obviously, I'm going to be cutting this down in terms of height. And we just glue this all down like that. Okay, and then again, just spread that out with my glue spreader. And then, so as we just get the height that needs to be. So yeah, I mean, quite a bit needs to come off top and bottom. So just going to trim that down here. I mean, it doesn't have to come off top and bottom. It's just, I think, you know, you've got a lot of room here. There's no point cutting it all from one end and then having a great big space at the other end. I'd rather cut off top and bottom. And that way you've got sort of, you know, more evenly spaced out, if that makes sense. So that's like that. I probably could cut it down a fraction more. So I'll just cut it down slightly more like that. And of course, you know, could stitch around the edge of this, or, you know, however you want to kind of finish it off. But yeah, I mean, that's how that looks. And then, of course, I could take some of my patterned paper. Now, let me find one that I actually have double-sided here, because I can't believe that actually so far everything I've picked I have not double-sided. Okay, let's pull this one in. So if we take this one, for example, okay, now I'm going to cut this down. I'm actually going to cut it down here. Now this is where my printer kind of, you know, doesn't do that borderless thing when it's printing on this really thick paper. So yeah, so if I just cut it down like that and then decide which way round I want to have this. So I could have it like that with that pretty bird. Yeah, should we do that? Let me just check. Okay, right, let's cut this edge off first. Okay, like that, and then just going to go in about there. Okey-dokey. Like that. Just cut the bottom off. Just getting rid of basically all the borders and things on my piece there. So then I take this in like this, and then I can obviously fold it down here against this edge, so like that. And this is my flea market papers. So yeah, so far we've used the Pink Prairie, the flea market, and the oh gosh, what's it called? Oh, the one that I used at Christmas when we did the using up a paper pack. I can't remember now. I'm so sorry. I can't remember, I'm afraid, at all. Right, so I'm going to just, I think it begins with a G. I feel like it begins with a G. Anyway, it's the pink one with the greens and the birds. So, yeah. Okay. And then we, again, stick that down like that onto this. So I mean, this is quite a wide belly band, obviously, you know, because this was made from that sheet music, and we just kind of were guided by the size of that paper. I didn't cut it down or anything like that. So this is going to be a very wide belly band, but you know, I don't mind that. You know, I think it's nice to have a variety of different types of pieces and different looks and things like that. But isn't that just so lovely? I just love it. So, yep, let's put that to one side. So I will stop kind of talking now about the process of what we're doing, because, of course, you know, I'm sure that you've seen plenty now. And, yeah, let's just kind of relax and have a nice time, have a catch up and, you know, yeah, just enjoy our time together. So I'm going to just use some scrapbooking paper now, just again, because, you know, I've got this kind of on hand ready to be used up, basically. So I might as well just use it here. So yeah, I hope that everybody's having a nice start to their week. I know I just repeat myself constantly, but yeah, I film these on a Monday. So yep, for me it's Monday morning. Ready to obviously upload for you guys on a Tuesday. So I hope that your week has started out well. Obviously mine has only just started, so it's a bit early to say, but let's fingers crossed, hope that everybody's week's going to go well. So yeah, I hope everyone's had a good week last week. So yeah, hope you all had a nice weekend and things. And I just want to say thank you so much to all you lovely, lovely people who commented on my shorts video, my first ever shorts video. So yeah, thank you so much. That was so very appreciated. And yeah, I had really good fun doing it. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, it's on my channel. And it was the shorts, you know, the shorts style, I suppose you'd call it, shorts style video. And yeah, it was a different experience, a different type of thing for me to do, you know, because obviously it had to be a small video rather than, you know, one of our more traditional types, which, you know, I talked about this. I mean, obviously as a crafter, it's quite hard to do shorts really, because, you know, if you want to kind of put all the, you know, the well, I mean, obviously you can't put all the stages in a shorts, but you know, if you want to put the majority of stages so it's actually got some value to it, you know, and people can kind of see what you've done, it's quite hard to condense that then into a short enough video. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who commented and who watched it. I really do appreciate your support, so thank you. And thank you to everybody who has purchased any of the button card printables, which I obviously, you know, was featuring in the shorts video. So again, that's really very appreciated. So thank you so much. So here we go. And again, just going to fold that over. And then of course I just need to ink this again, so it's, you know, so it's not glaring white on that side. So there we go. Okey-dokey. And I have now put some more book page kits into my shop. I know that I talked last week and said that I was, you know, hoping to, and I was kind of putting them together and things. So I have done that now. And yeah, I think there was 17. So yeah, good number. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if you haven't kind of seen them or anything, then do go over and check them out. Obviously, like I said before, they're kind of on a potluck basis. You know, because of course, no two are going to be identical, because it would depend on the thickness of the book and things like that, as to how many of, you know, pages that I can get out of a book, if that makes sense. So yeah, but I mean, hopefully whatever you get, it's all going to be, you know, really nice usable things that you can obviously incorporate into your journals and your work. So yeah, do go across and check those out if you want to. And, you know, a bit with my goal of trying to put more physical things in my shop, because I know I talked about that a few weeks ago. I've got quite a few other things that I'm hoping to put in again over the next few days. And I've got some new, well, I don't know whether you call them products really, but some new things anyway that I haven't kind of listed before. And again, you know, these things are going to be a kind of like, well, I mean, partly, I guess, a trial to see how they go down, whether they're well received or not. But also, they're going to be a sort of grab it while you can, because obviously, I mean, I'm making all these things. So, you know, there's kind of very limited, you know, numbers. Just due to the fact that, you know, like all of us, I'm just one person. And so there's going to be very limited numbers of things actually available. So, for instance, I'm putting together some die cut packs. Now, I've put together 3. It will probably only be 3 because, you know, they take an incredibly long time to put those together. So, you know, although that sounds like, oh, 3, that's not many. You know, the point is they actually take quite a long time to put together. And so to do more than 3, I mean, would be kind of almost impossible to do. So, yeah. Now, I'm wondering whether I could just have like a fold over. So I'm just going to fold this here. And then I'm also going to fold it here as well. So like that. Now, obviously, I need to adjust my folds so that they're going around the other way. Like that. Okay. Again, just squish that down. Yeah, so, you know, that's why there's obviously such limited numbers of products. So, I mean, those die cut kits, I think I've done 3 of them. And yeah, that's probably all there will be this time around, because obviously just putting those 3 together has taken me, you know, a whole evening. So, you know, because I want them to be nicely put together with, you know, things that I think work together nicely and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, they're not going to be just all one die cut from one kit. They're going to be a mixture. The ones I have done so far happen to be colour coordinated kits, but yeah, they're, you know, in the future might be other style of die cut packs if I do them again. So yes, they're going to be going in my shop. I've got some tag bags and yeah, some other bits and bobs as well. So, and again, you know, like I kind of say, I mean, it's just really a case of as quick as I can list them, and you know, all these things just take quite a long time. So, but you know, do keep your eye out, and yeah, hopefully I'm going to be having, you know, some good things going into the shop. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for those things. And thank you to everybody as well who commented on my Shinuki art inspired journal cards. I had such a lovely time doing that challenge. I mean, she's such a lovely, talented, you know, crafter. And I just love the fact that we can all just take inspiration from one another like that, because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I just think all of our work styles are so very different. So, yeah, I had a really lovely time doing my version of her cards. You know, and I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Is our style maybe with somebody else's ideas. So, you know, kind of our inspiration has come from, you know, watching other people, and yeah, then we just put our own stamp on it. So yeah, but thank you so much to everybody who was so lovely on that video. Well, thank you for being so lovely generally, always. So yeah, thank you. Right, so this one I might do like a flip up actually. So I'm thinking kind of like from here. What I could do is just cut this down like that. Again, need to just be a bit careful before this ends up the same size as the piece underneath, which so far it is. So let's just cut this down slightly more. There we go. And then just take that down there. Okay. So yeah, what else have we been up to? Right, what else have we been up to? Oh gosh, trying to actually think. Honestly, it's just you know, when you stop and think, and you think, oh well, I've done nothing worth talking about. Yeah, that's when you kind of realise how dull and boring your life is, isn't it? So yeah, done nothing worth talking about. But what have we done? We went to the cinema to watch that film, The Duke, and I think I did talk about this last week. I went with my middle son, and he and I had been really looking forward to watching it, you know, because it just looked really good on the trailer. I thought it was quite good. I think he thought it was okay. It probably wasn't as funny as I had hoped it was going to be, but it was nonetheless a very enjoyable story. So, yeah, I mean, there were one or two bits that were very, very funny. But, you know, I mean, on the whole, it was just a sort of lovely film, really. You know, kind of you left thinking, oh, that was a nice film. So, yeah, I'd recommend that one. But, you know, I probably went expecting it to be very, 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 very funny. And it just wasn't as funny as I had hoped it might be. But very good nonetheless. So, yeah, if you're looking for something to watch, you know, I would recommend that because I thought it was pretty good. What else have we done? Oh gosh, nothing very, very exciting at all. I was a bit horrified by how messy my house has become. Yeah, so at the moment, we're having a bit of a thing with our neighbours. Because one of our fences has become damaged, obviously, in the storms, and we replaced our fence, you know, on the other side a few years ago, you know, because obviously on the land registry it says that that's our fence and things, and you know, now obviously the fence the other side has become loose, so now our neighbours on the other side are obviously saying that that's our fence, and you know, I'm pretty sure it's not, but you know, anyway, so we were looking for pictures of our fence when we moved in to see if there were any pictures of it, like, you know, yeah, not being built, but we bought our house like from a development, but it was the original old house rather than a new one, if that makes sense. So ours wasn't kind of part of the development, even though we did buy it from the developer, if that makes sense. So yeah, anyway, I was looking through, and I felt so mortified because when we bought our house, it was like a renovation project, and you know, we've been here for 14 years, and you know, I mean, it was boarded up and everything, so it was, you know, really had a lot of work needed doing. So I looked through these pictures, which I obviously haven't looked through for a really long time, and I felt so horrified. I'm just wondering whether to have like another belly band. So we'd have like, you know, this is a belly band. We'd have a belly band here, and then we'd have the flip down. So I'm going to do that just because it uses up this little piece, And yeah, I just thought it would make it kind of a bit more interesting. So yeah, I was so mortified because honestly, our house went from being like a renovation project to we got it looking really lovely to now it just looks awful again. I mean, obviously we've been here for 14 years. And so, you know, some things, I mean, they've just obviously become tatty again over time. And, you know, I mean, like all these things, it's actually surprising how quickly, you know, things need redoing. So, I mean, there's that side of things. And I mean, of course, our house got a lot of traffic, you know, because, I mean, 3 children have kind of grown up here / still growing up here. You know, so, I mean, of course, it's seen a lot of kind of knocks and things like that. But also, obviously, the main problem appears to be my work, which has just spread uncontrollably all over the entire house. So, yeah, my son, you know, I said to him, oh, do you know, I'm horrified. I said, because I've looked at our pictures and our house, and I said exactly what I've just said to you. Then, you know, we'd got it really lovely and now it's kind of like trashed again. And I think really, you know, it's just a case of we've got too much stuff. Obviously, you know, 14 years is a long time to be in a house, isn't it? And so, you know, your stuff just kind of grows. And I mean, things like, you know, children, I mean, they grow out of things so quickly, don't they? And, you know, I mean, I don't want to just chuck things away because that just seems terribly wasteful. So, of course, you know, we've got, you know, or I've got like, say, old clothes of theirs and, you know, oh, I don't know, just rubbish that, you know, I really need to just get rid of. Old clothes of my own and, you know, all sorts of just rubbish everywhere, really. And obviously it doesn't really help because every time I make a journal, I kind of think, oh, I'll hang on to that, you know, or every time I'm chucking things out, I think, oh, I'll hang on to that because I could make a journal from that, or I could, you know, I could use that on some covers, or, you know. So yeah, it's like unruly. The situation with the rubbish and clutter has become a nightmare. So yeah, it's going to be my mission to minimalize our house. Oh, even as I say that, what a ridiculous statement to make, because honestly, I mean, you know, nowhere is obviously as messy as my craft area, of course, you know. I would hope it's not. But I mean, seriously, to think that I'm going to go so minimalistic that I'm going to actually, you know, that would be termed minimalistic. I mean, hello, am I aware of my hoarding kind of tendencies? It would appear I'm not really. So yeah, I'm probably just living in absolute, you know, cloud cuckoo land, as they would say, to even think that I'm going to manage to do it. But hey, that's the plan. So yeah, I'm back to, I went through this phase that I thought, do you know, if I just, you know, chuck something away, throw something away every single day, like say from my bedroom. So like, you know, I don't know, things that we don't wear anymore, or, you know, just, I don't know, old shoes, old handbags, things like that. You know, if I just take a little something with me every single time that I go into my room, I chuck something else away, you know, I will whittle my room down. I mean, that's kind of the plan. So yeah, I'm back to thinking that again now. I mean, do I really think that's going to work? Probably not really, if I'm truthful. But yeah, I'm back to thinking that at the moment. So we shall see. We shall see how well it actually goes. I suspect it probably won't go as well as I'm hoping. But yeah, that's the plan, is to go minimalistic this year. I will keep you all posted. Well, I say I will keep you posted. What will happen is obviously I'll suddenly stop talking about it. And that's when you'll all know it's all gone out the window. I'm no longer doing the minimalistic thing. So yeah, it's all gone horribly non-minimalistic. Right, so I'm just taking this one and let's just cut this one down like that. Yep. Yeah, I just kind of was horrified, and I thought, do you know what? We've just got too much stuff. It's everywhere. It's, you know, yeah, I need to just stop with the hoarding, stop with the, you know, being so messy. But yes, so that's the plan. you know, and to be honest, I just thought, well, it must have got really bad to have actually kind of thought, well, do you know what? We managed to get the house looking lovely, and it's now looking, I mean, obviously it's not looking like it needs renovating. You know, I hope it's not anyway. You know, it's not as bad as when we moved in, but hey, to be fair, it's not good either. So yeah, I do need to get a grip now. And yeah, I'm going to try and again organise my work stuff. I think what happens is, you know, I've ended up now, I've got a printer in my bedroom, I've got a printer downstairs, and then, you know, like obviously I do the bulk of my work, you know, every day up here in the loft, i.e., you know, oops, I hadn't noticed that I still had that border on. Let me cut that border off. Actually, let's go from that side. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously I do the bulk of my work here in the loft. So, you know, like now I'm filming here in the loft. So my crafting generally takes place up here. Not that I very often get to craft without videoing. You know, but then I go downstairs. That's where I go when I'm on the laptop. And, you know, I was probably like 50-50 split between obviously my desk and, you know, being here crafting and videoing and things, and obviously on the laptop. Actually, I say 50-50. No, probably a lot more time is spent on the laptop if I'm truthful. And then, of course, what happens is in the evening or, you know, weekends or whatever, you know, I think, oh, I'll just quickly take such and such downstairs with me, you know, and I'll finish that off. So I might take like a bunch of fussy cutting or, you know, a bunch of old things that I've picked up for scanning, say. And then those things obviously end up just sitting, you know, in our back room, you know, which is where we kind of sit and watch TV, which is like our sort of, you know, our living room, I suppose. We just call it the back room because it happens to be at the back of the house. But yeah, so we sit there. And honestly, that room is now just literally full of mess. So that room is now turning a little bit, oh, I hate to say it, but a little bit like my craft area here. Oh, so yeah, I need to kind of stop doing that. And my son said, you know, oh, Mum, you just need to kind of like take all of your work things and just keep them contained in your work area. I said, I know, but it's just not as easy as that because, you know, what happens is then, you know, I come downstairs and, you know, we're all watching TV, but I want to obviously be still doing things. So then I'm doing things and then, you know, I might be scanning stuff and then I go up to my bedroom and, you know, I'll take things up there as well. And then, like I say, I've got a printer in there. So I might then think, oh, I'll just do some scanning while I'm in there. And so now I have just piles of stuff in my living room, in my bedroom, and here in the loft as well. So yes, it's not a very good situation, and definitely I need to get a handle of it. Right, okay, so these are the belly band with flips that we have done. Let's count how many that we've done and then we'll decorate one up. So we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've done 8, which actually I think is pretty good. And this one we've kind of added another belly band, like to the belly band, and things. So yeah, we've done quite a few kind of variations on these, which I think is really nice to, you know, to see variations, isn't it? So let's take this one and do a couple of things onto this one, because obviously the bottom of this is looking very plain, and you know, this section, it's looking very plain and boring, isn't it? So yeah, let's kind of see what we can do with this. So I'm just having a look for all my fussy cut pieces. So yeah, let's have a look and see what I have got here. Okay. So I've got this lovely yellow butterfly. Okay. Oops. Okay. Yes, been super busy fussy cutting, can you tell? Well, you know, partly because, like I say, I wanted to do those little packs, and I thought, oh, I'll, you know, get fussy cutting, and then I can do some of those packs. So, yeah. Okay. I mean, I do use my scan and cut sometimes, you know, and I know that sounds strange, but I don't use it all the time. I mean, to be honest, sometimes, you know, it's just not really practical to use it because it's actually quite noisy. You know, when I got it, I thought, oh, I'm going to be, you know, scan and cutting every night kind of while we're watching TV. And it didn't really pan out like that because it's much noisier than I had expected. And so, of course, you know, everyone would be absolutely outraged if I was, if I was doing that whilst everyone was watching TV. They'd be like, Mum, get out, you're so selfish. So, yes, obviously I have not been doing that. So I've been fussy cutting by hand. Okay, so I'm thinking we'll have it like that. So these are my Victorian, I think it's Victorian roses. And yeah, I mean, they're just really pretty. And obviously they go really nicely with these collage sheets. Now these collage sheets, I think are also called Victorian roses collage sheets. And yeah, that's those. So yeah, they go really, really nicely with these. And then obviously these are my bright book plates. So, which again, just go really, really nicely with them. So just put that one down like that. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? And, you know, it's got like nothing even on there. It just looks so gorgeous, doesn't it? And then, I mean, we could have another one even on the front. I mean, I was going to have more like, you know, label and things like that on the front so that I kept the pretty, you know, the pretty collage. But now I'm thinking, oh, perhaps I'd prefer to have some of this going on. Yeah, perhaps I would prefer to have some of this. I don't know. Let's just have a bit of a look. That does look pretty, doesn't it? So yeah, perhaps I will do that. So again, I'm going to just glue this down. So then I've got like 2 pockets basically on top of my belly band. So, and this is where sometimes, you know, it gets crazy when you're then filling a journal because, you know, sometimes then I think, oh no, I've now got pockets everywhere. Why have I put so many pockets on? But I mean, the point is with them, they're optional, aren't they? You could use them or not use them. You don't have to obviously use every single pocket that you create. You know, you can keep some empty. But if you have them there, you've got the option, haven't you? So like this, we could cut this down and make a little journal card, or we could actually probably fold this over and just make a little foldy. So I'm just going to trim this down. And again, these are just scraps that, you know, I've obviously cut off while we were making the other belly bands. So I just cut that down like that. Okay. Like that. And let's just, again, ink this up. Okay. I don't think I actually inked the piece at all, did I? But yeah, we'll ink this. So, and then I'll probably go around and ink the, you know, the piece itself in a minute. So yeah, after the event. So let's just ink this up a bit. And these are my new ticket label pieces. So yeah, let's just ink all of this. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty, doesn't it? And then, so on here, I mean, we could even have a little bit of paper inside there. Let me see if I've got some paper. I mean, this is, yeah, again, just some kind of like fly sheet. It might not be fly sheet, actually. It might be sheet music. But again, just kind of like taking it down so it's smaller. Then we can make a very, very tiny, you know, little booklet. So let me just see if I've got any other paper floating around. Not really. Well, that's fine. We can just have the one little page there. And I will just staple that in. Okay. There we go, like that. Okay. Now I'm just wondering whether I could use any of the leftover. Just to put on here, so hold on. It's a bit big, I think. Oh, that's quite pretty, isn't it? So yeah, let's just pop that on there. Okay, like that. Okay. Oh, and all the daffodils are up now. So yeah, it looks so pretty, I have to say. When you drive kind of, you know, I live on like a main road, and yeah, when you drive down like the main road, just looks gorgeous. I love seeing the daffodils. You know, they just make you feel so nice, you know, because you think, oh, spring is on its way. And yeah, I mean, who doesn't love spring? So yeah, that's really lovely to look at. And yeah, just kind of, yeah, just makes you feel like, oh, spring's on its way. So, and there's loads of bits kind of like, you know, on like this walkway kind of bit down my road that they're really, really full of butterflies, daffodils. You know, so like tons and tons of them all like clustered together. They look so gorgeous, so gorgeous. So yeah, although I have to say it was freezing this morning. When I went to the gym, it was like 3.5 degrees. So I hope that doesn't kill off the daffodils that have come up already. So yeah, let's hope that they manage to stay out and not kind of like shy away and go back in. I don't know whether that happens. I'm not really a gardener, so yeah, I don't know whether that would happen or not, but oh, I hope that they you know, they survive. So there's that. Now I'm just going to quickly ink around here because I said that I probably would, didn't I? So yeah, let's just quickly ink around it. And as always, you know, I mean, inking's completely optional, isn't it? And, you know, it's just kind of personal preference, really, whether you like your things inked or not inked. I mean, I know that Rachel over at Roxy Creations, I mean, I don't think she really ever inks anything. And it looks amazing, doesn't it? Inking's one of those funny things for me that I often feel like, oh, I don't know whether I dare ink it because I don't want to spoil something. But until it's inked, I just don't really feel like it's actually finished. So it's, yeah, it's one of those like funny, you know, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? And invariably I just always do. So I'm just going to pop this little booklet in here like that. And then our label, we could just have, now do I want it up there or do I want to put it like more clustered with the bit there? And then the butterfly, thinking, we could just have the butterfly positioned so it's actually like acting like a closure for this. So let's glue this down. I must say I love the colour green of this book plate. I mean, I do love green, as you know. So yeah, just really up my street, this shade of green. Always has been, you know, my favourite colour. As a child, there used to be, you know, those Beetles, the Volkswagen Beetles. They were kind of like all over when I was a child because, you know, grew up in the 70s. And yeah, they were all over. And oh, that was just my ultimate car was like one of those green Beetles. You know, they were like that, I guess like a sort of pea green, weren't they? I just loved them. Absolutely loved them. So yeah, I mean, if I showed the children now, they'd be like, what is wrong with you, Mum? But they were obviously really popular because, like I say, they were literally everywhere when I was growing up. So yeah, I obviously wasn't in the minority back then, loving the pea green Beetles. Okay. So just one of my labels there. And then, yeah, I'm going to leave that lace, you know, like on the header piece, which I don't very often do that, but I actually think it looks really good on here. So let's just pop that down there like that. Okay. Oh, how gorgeous does that look? I mean, obviously that is really covering that label up, but you know, that label is still visible, and you know, you just know it's there. So yeah, I'm glad it's there, really. So I'm going to put my butterfly on there, which will just act as a little closure for the flip, like that. Okay, like that. So yeah, that's kind of the finished piece. So let me just pull in. Oops, I'm not sure whether I've got anything that I can pull in, actually, now I've said that. Oh, hang on, let me just see if I've got any kind of... Oh, come on, I must have... Right, I'm going to have to pull in one of the journals that I'm going to be doing a flip through of soon. So, yeah, let's pull this one in. And I'm just going to show you how it would look. So if I just find a plainish page. Now, obviously this does not go with this because this journal is kind of like bluey brown, but just to demonstrate how it would look. So I would just glue this now, glue this now top and bottom. So to give yourself that belly band, okay. Then opening this, you've got a little side pocket here. You've got your foldy flip with journaling space here. And then this obviously just closes in behind that butterfly to keep that closed. And then we also have a little pocket here, which we didn't actually make anything for. So I'm just going to ink this little ticket up. Oops. Could really do with a new sponge on my inker. Ink that ticket up and that would just go in there. So, I mean, you've got a lot of different bits to tuck, you know, or places to tuck bits in, haven't you? And yeah, I mean, doesn't it just look so gorgeous? So just, oh, really yummy. So, yep, I hope that you like them. And obviously, like I say, I mean, I think there's actually lots of different things that you can do with these. I'm sure I haven't exhausted all the different possibilities and things. So, you know, do, you know, feel free to, yeah, have a play around and kind of add your own take on them and, yeah, change them and just make them your own. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a really great day and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.